No one has been able to find a Coronado site in Arizona or Sonora. It's really the holy grail in terms of historical archaeology. There are so many theories about where Coronado went.
A Coronado! I can't freaking believe it! Look at that. A medieval horseshoe here on the Baba Quarry. Is that not incredible?
But it turns out that this was a town in 1541. So this was a European settlement. We are working now on the evidence that this is the Via of San Geronimo III in the Suya Valley. This site is as important as Roanoke and Jamestown, but it came first. So your direct ancestors are the people that greeted these first Europeans. And there was a major pitched battle here.
This is the site in North America of the very first major defeat of Spanish forces.
That makes this the first American Revolution.
This is another piece to our history.
A very powerful example of effective indigenous resistance.
We now have an opportunity to put forth the proper history.
It's been right here in our backyard this whole time.
She's got the smoking gun.
What in the world is in this? Oh, wow!
Hi, good afternoon, muy buenas tardes a todos nuestro auditorio de Santa Cruz County Public Media. It's a pleasure for me to be here in another Border Connections program. Thank you to all our followers from We Love Nogales, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, Spotify. And if you don't follow us yet in any of those platforms, please follow us. Did you guys watch the trailer? We're amazed and we're very thankful. We have amazing guests here with us today. I have the honor of interviewing today Dani Seymour. She is a PhD Coronado archaeologist. Thank you so much for being here with us. And I have Francis Cassi, Emmy Award-winning director. It's a pleasure and it's so exciting for us to hear about Coronado. I learned a lot while I was getting ready for this interview, and what a pleasure, what an honor to connect all of our Santa Cruz County Public Media, all of our We Love Nogales followers, all our audience, our community, our students to this amazing work that you guys been doing for years. Before we start, I really want to mention a little bit about yourself, because I think we have to take pride for our local archaeologists and Emmy Award winning. They live here, they live around our area, Pima County and Santa Cruz County. So let me read a little bit about themselves. I'm gonna start with Dr. Dani Seymour. So she's been known as the Sherlock Holmes of history. So, just that. And so you're being internationally recognized for a scholar that focuses on indigenous connections with their past and on proto-historic and historic Native American and Spanish colonial. And also for Spanish expeditionary archaeologist and ethnohistory. For 40 years, you've been passionately studying about ancestrals, Apache, Sobaipuri, and Odoham. And I read that, your passion, it's also, to be reconnecting all these tribes to their heritage. So thank you for your hard work. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being archaeologists and looking for all these amazing things that right now they're gonna become a movie. And with that being said, like I would love also to talk a little bit about director Frances Cassie. She is an Emmy Award winning for documentary filmmakers. You are also a journalist and TED contributor. I love to watch those TED YouTube. So if you guys are watching us live right now, also search a little bit about Frances Cassie, our award winning. That she lives on our county, and you have 15 years of experience as a senior producer at CNN and previously worked as in the New York Times critic picks. Your work has been featuring on Netflix, PBS, and the History Channel, among other international outlets. So what a pleasure. Welcome. And I'm so excited about you telling us about we found Coronado. So welcome, please.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
It's really great to be here.
Thank you. And we just watched a little bit of a trailer, and we know that this film is coming to our town, it's coming to our city, to our county in December 9. And it's about Coronado, the expedition. And as a previous teacher, I always like, for our audience, because I'm learning also with our audience, but to talk about, who was, Francisco Vázquez de Coronado. We have a school here. And, we know and we learned, I learned that his journey was in the 1540s. And he went through villages and through the Coronado National Forest. And please, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're the expert of this. But, all this history, all these findings, and all these names, and you, as we watch on the trailer, mentioning, like all these days, I'm pretty sure, of hard work, and then finding something that you were just amazed, and we can hear with excitement on the film saying, we found it, we found Coronado. What does that mean for us, for our county? And if you can just tell us a little bit of history.
Sure, thank you. As you noted, there's streets, there's schools, there's forests, there's roads, everything named after Coronado.
Yes.
A historical figure that's important to the region. And he and the people that came with him represent the first Europeans to step foot in our state and in our region, the American Southwest. So for centuries, no one has known where his route specifically went. We know generally. Right. But during COVID, I found the first evidence, and it's here in Santa Cruz County, very near Nogales. And so it's the first evidence that has ever been found between the start point, if you want to say Culiacan, to Zuni, New Mexico. In adjacent states, New Mexico and Texas, they have some sites, but here, none. So in 2020, I found the first evidence, and now we have 7 sites, so we're starting to string the trail together. The most important site, though, here is the first one, the one we found right here near Nogales, and it's game-changing in terms of what we know about the history, because most people, when they think about Coronado, they think about him the expedition interacting with the people in the Albuquerque area, the pueblos there, and Hopi and so on. But here, now we know for a fact that there was a major interaction with the O'odham, the people who live at San Javier and on the Tohono O'odham Nation. Their ancestors were the ones that Coronado interacted with in this area, and where we have the first European town site here in the American Southwest, and the first successful Native American uprising by these O'odham ancestors.
Amazing. And how did you connect with Frances? Like, how does this connection happen, being an archaeologist and also passionate about history, about the tribes, and about all these discoveries right here on our backyard, on our home? And then how does this connection happen from an archaeologist to an Emmy Award filming director, filmmaker? Like, how does this connection happen?
Well, first of all, after I found it, I was pretty excited. I knew how big the find was because it was the first time
Yes.
that anybody found any evidence. So a few months into it, when I found the cannon, it's the first firearm known, the oldest one for the entire continent. And so I knew it was an important find. And I knew that it was more important than just a few academic publications. So I thought, we've got to get the word out to the public while still ensuring the safety of the site. And I give a lot of public talks, so I know the public wants to see the discovery process. So when I ultimately found Frances and her company, I had known about her, but it wasn't clicking immediately. And then it all came together, and I'll let you.
Yeah, so Denny came to me. I live in Tubac. I'm a resident of Santa Cruz County, a very proud resident of Santa Cruz County. And we had lunch. She came and we met for lunch. And when she called me, I immediately knew who she was because I had attended one of her lectures. I made a movie called Ours is the Land with the O'odham people. And she had written a book. She's the foremost archaeologist in southern Arizona, bar none, and I attended one of her lectures about the Sabipari and the O'odham. So I jumped at the chance to meet with her, not really knowing what it was. And then when she told me what she had, I don't know if I was. If I
What do you
exuded,
have?
I don't know if I was very, very, very excited because, as you know, in our business, to have an exclusive, and I was able to convince her to give me the exclusive.
Wow.
We just started shooting, and in my business, our business, it's very rare to have a story that's never been told before. So we were both in alignment, and I think destined to find each other.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a real trip.
She took a chance because there was no funding, and we've had to pick up funding along the way. And we're looking for more funding for another series, another movie, because we ended this one because the funding ran out. But there's so much more. We're still discovering things. But she took a chance. She and her company took a chance with no funding at all, knowing that the story was good enough that somebody was going to come through. So.
And that's amazing. I love how connections always happen, and we always say it here on our Santa Cruz County Public Media, on our We Love Nogales channel. This is our people, and this is our community. We enjoy to help each other, and then mostly when there are opportunities like this, we go and we trust, and we just connect, and then we take it outside, like helping each other. But Frances, tell us a little bit about your films also, because we learned that you have amazing, very interested films, and we have a beautiful audience, but we have also an audience from our youngs, our teens, from our high schoolers, and also people and students that want to go to school to be a filmmaker. And I learned a lot of your movies, and what a pleasure to be interviewing an Emmy Award winner in our county. And also, I would love for them to learn, what does it take to be a director, a film director, and then to tell us your background, a little bit about your movies, because I think we will also understand more about the connection with Coronado, the film.
Great question. And so much of my own development as a filmmaker and my company really tracks beautifully into the culmination of making this movie, because I think everything that Denny has done as an archaeologist in this area has led her to this discovery. I think my career to this point led me here. I mean, I make movies, I shoot all over the world, and to have this discovery in my backyard, literally 20 minutes from my home in Santa Cruz County, which, by the way, is about to be told all over the world because the film has been picked up by broadcasters all over the world.
Wow.
So it's really quite a story about how we connected. It's kind of serendipitous. But I started my career with CNN, and in fact, I met with the film club at Rio Rico High School last Saturday as they were making their sets. I want to put in a plug for their play Clue that they're putting on that I'm going to go see, which I believe is December 8th.
Yes.
Great students, wanted to encourage them. They made great questions. They asked great questions of me, and it was an honor to be able to tell them about how I started. And so I said to them, I don't know of a filmmaker out there who isn't good at their craft, that doesn't like history and current events and things like that. Whether you're a fiction writer or you're writing scripted films, fiction films, or ones that are based on actual events, which is what I do. There's a curiosity. There was a curiosity in those students, and that's how I am, and that's how she is. We both have this, insatiable curiosity. And so I started out. I left CNN. I was with CNN for 14 years. I was in Atlanta and then New York, and knew that there was a storyteller within me, and that if I was going to kind of flex those muscles, I needed to go out on my own. So I was able to do that, and the very first movie I made was about an African-American stock car racer by the name of Wendell Scott. So the very first film I made out of CNN was on the History Channel. A huge part of documentary filmmaking also, for the young kids out there, in terms of trying to understand whether you want to do nonfiction or fiction filmmaking. I'm a kind of an accidental, Maritza, activist, right? So all of my films have a thread of activism. Right. Yes. So in the case of Denny's work, it's obvious that the discovery of Coronado was huge, but I was equally as interested in was the Native American story, the Sabipri, whose ancestors, the Atam, I had known independently. I've made 2 movies for them now, and she is very close, with the Atam. So I made a film called The Long Shadow, which is about the going all the way back to the founding of the United States, how unfortunately there's kind of racism woven into our national DNA, and our failure to really come to grips with that, and how it's impacting, for instance, the descendants of the enslaved. I've made 2 films about mental health, which is a really important subject. I made a movie called Is Your Story Making You Sick? And you can go to my website at franciscauseyfilms.com and find out where you can see all these movies. But I also have a new movie out that deals with the fact that the U.S. military knew about brain-related trauma and this epidemic of PTSD, and they were really struggling to deal with it. And that's called Final Fight, when the trauma of war comes home. So if you're a young person out there and you want to get into filmmaking, as I told the group last Saturday, you absolutely have to be passionate about it, because it's really hard work. And the only other profession I know that works harder is archaeology. She puts me to shame. The amount of energy and effort it took day in and day out to go. It's very tough conditions, in the desert, digging in the desert and excavating and metal detecting and stuff. So needless to say, we were on the same page.
Yeah, but when you enjoy what you're doing and when you do it with passion, that really makes all the difference. This last 3 or 4 years has gone by in no time, and truly, I think one of the things that we have in common and why the film works so well is because when we do what we do with passion, it rolls in the importance to society issues, the value of what we do in opening people's eyes and helping them realize how history can expose and then heal. It can teach people in ways that are non-confrontational so they can see. And so this story, it's about the Coronado expedition, but it's even in some ways more so about the Otham and the people that they impacted, and explains this deep historical trauma that they haven't understood. They understand it, but it's a different way of understanding, and it's a greater depth to the history, and it helps open up their story. And so now this is a story about them, and they're involved in the research. I've been working with them for I think 17 years. When I have done my archaeology, we've worked together to try to make it meaningful to the Otham community. But this is a whole new chapter of that, and it's exciting. And as I tell them, here's your opportunity to tell your story in light of this new evidence. And Francis's film helps that along. The film medium allows people to open their hearts to it and to really see it in a new way, I think.
Well, what the Otham are doing is taking back their pre-colonial history. They're taking back their story, and it's the other story was, maybe at its best incomplete, but also maybe at its worst really not accurate at all in terms of, for instance, the Otham fought back. The Sabipri fought back against Coronado. They've been known as more passive, kind of agrarian, and so this film is. Exposes the world to how Dr. Seymour has, she's literally with each trowel rewriting history. And to be able to shadow that has just been the honor of my career.
Yes, that's amazing. I can't wait. I'm very excited to watch this film. And I know it will be happening on our county, on our city of Nogales on December 9. And I know we talk, Dr. Seymour, I know you talk about the sponsors and how this film is coming together. You're also an author that you're been writing. I love that you mentioned, it's the passion also that I put into my work. I know you also write and you have all this knowledge that you were able to connect and put it into also in articles and books. So would you like to share a little bit about your books, about your articles? And then I also want to share after that about the film. But I believe it's very important to get to know a little bit of the background, because again, our audience, they're watching, and the ones that we learn about both of you, we are very honored to have you around our community. I'm very excited for December 9, and I'm very excited also to talk about all these people that got together to put this film on the screen on Oasis on December 9. But before we jump to that, I would love for you to teach us a little bit about who's Dr. Seymour, or archaeologist, and also a writer. And since I write books for children, I just get very excited, because I know you have to have a passion to do also filming or to do also writing, because you want to transport that passion to your audience.
Exactly. And, as a professional archaeologist, it's my obligation to present what I find.
Yes.
That's number one. So I've written thousands of reports and I think it's 7 or 8 books now through university publishers, and then hundreds of peer-reviewed articles. And part of the thing about that is like I said, we're obligated to bring it out to other professionals so they can evaluate our work. And as we work, we often destroy. And so that's just a reality of what we do. So it's important to preserve that information through our writing and through placing the artifacts and so on in museums, in the notes and so on. But more so than that, and that ties back into the film, for me, since I'm retired. I do this as my hobby, and I work probably harder than most people who have a job. I mean, I'm doing it all the time, right? But the thing is, for me, if I were just to write these articles and then they'd be in some moldy journal somewhere, then who's going to derive value from them? So I've spent since for years now, trying to bring it to the native people, bring the knowledge I have to the native people that I'm studying, and have them bring their knowledge to me so we can meld it into something new and fresh and meaningful to them and to others. And that's the same with this Coronado material. It's like when I first found it, I mean, it's like a big deal to find it because nobody could find it. So that was the fun part of the fun part in reconstructing the trail. But also, I mean, when I found that it was on basically a Sabipri site that I've studied for years, and knew that it directly impacted my O'odham friends and their history. I mean, the first day I went and showed the artifacts to my O'odham friend, one of my O'odham friends, and said, look at the importance of this history. And it's mind-blowing. For me, it's mind-blowing because I never expected that it was going to be so big. I mean, just site after site after site. But on the main site that's here, it got bigger and bigger, more and more artifacts, more and more implications, more and more importance and significance and stuff. And then, so I'm bringing it to the public in publications and also telling people in situations like this, and also through the film. But I have my work to do still in terms of doing more writing, not only for the public, but also the professional papers. I mean, there's so many of them. I was texting Francis the other day. I said, it's all so swirling in my head right now. I can't get it down. There's too many things to write down because I only had a day or two to write it down before I had to go back in the field. And so I'm still in the discovery process right now. So there's not necessarily a lot of time to write, but I can still bring it to the public in a way that right now the enthusiasm's there. I'm still finding out new things. And so I have to watch what I say because my conclusions might change, right? But on the other hand, right now we're in the middle of the excitement of the discovery and also bringing it to the public.
Yes, amazing. And, so December 9, it will be here on our home. And we know some people, some agencies from our county are helping together, like Pimeria Alta Museum, Rio Rico Historical Society, Border Community Alliance, Nogales Santa Cruz County Chamber of Commerce, Tubac Presidio State Historic Park. Am I missing?
I think that's it.
I think there's one or two more, but I should have made a list. I'm sorry. They keep adding on because they realize how important this is, and they want to be part of it. They want to show their support for it, and also they want to help the filmmaker. It's a fundraiser for the filmmaker because there's a debt associated with the film.
And to Macacary National Historical
That was
Park.
the one. That was the one.
So amazing, all these agencies coming up together. So I also want to ask, all these agencies, Dr. Seymour, Francis, working so hard to put this exhibition out for us, or this film for the public. So why do we need sponsors? What are the sponsors will be used for in showing this amazing film and pretty much, being part of such a huge event in our community? What are we looking for?
Well, as you know, it's really multi-pronged in that I've been with Denny long enough to know that there was naturally, right, there was skepticism because it was really flipping the script 180 on, and there are a lot of people who've published on Coronado, and the story about Coronado had been around for a long time without any. This is what I found so fascinating as a documentarian, but also one of my biggest challenges was when I would go to talk to other experts, they would recite back to me old information. And she's been out in the field so much, she hasn't written her academic, her scholarly papers yet, and so they were skeptics, and so she persisted courageously through all of that because she knew what she had. And so I think it's not only important for these groups to help sponsor the film, to get the word out about the film screening. There's the theater rental. There's them putting, like Border Community Alliance, the ticket link is through them. We ideally want people to buy the tickets through BCA, which I think Ed is going to put out for folks, or get in touch with me and I can make sure you have a ticket link. But it's also, I think, that these folks are wanting to be a part of it shows the importance, and they are coming fast and furious because Denny's modest, but this discovery has not only local, state, South, regional, Southwest, but hugely national, nationally important. We have to remember, internationally important. We have to remember that, and the film will air, I'm certain, in Spain. That this predates Jamestown, St. Augustine, Roanoke, the Lost Colony, which I grew up with in North Carolina. So this, and they really jumped on board to be a part of, which is a great endorsement of her and the importance of the discovery. And we couldn't be happier that we're all going to come together on December 9th at Oasis. The film starts at 10 a.m.
Okay.
It's a Saturday.
It is a Saturday.
And then Denny and I will take questions after. There's like 300. I think there's 300 seats, so we're hoping to fill it up.
Every single.
I know you kids in the audience are used to watching a film on this, but when you see it on the big screen, it's and she's just fantastic in the movie.
And it will be amazing. And yes, I believe both of you are being very modest because it's amazing to have you guys here in our county talking about your work, Dr. Samers as an archaeologist, your work, Amy, Francis, about being an Emmy award-winning director, and also being with us here while the film it's being shown to answer questions for us. This is, it's such an amazing opportunity for us to present such a beautiful, such an exciting, and such a great connection film, Coronado, the new evidence. So we should get there on time. We need to, film starts at 10. Tickets, where can we find in social media the information? Because I know all of our young followers, they're just right there pressing to buy the tickets, and then they just go straight to the cinema, just showing or scanning the tickets. So how will the tickets are gonna work? And then also if there are any agency that would like to sponsor in different ways, how can they connect to both of you about just different, maybe like the tickets, about the schools getting invited to watch the film, all those little pieces?
Absolutely. While it is a fundraiser to help with some of the debt accrued with the film, we had expenses, for instance, so the film has been licensed by SBS in Australia, and when we do broadcast, we have to get something called errors and omissions insurance. Well, you can't believe you have to involve a lawyer to make sure all the rights are cleared, and so there's all kinds of arcane expenses that I won't bore you with. But so ostensibly, it is a fundraiser to try and help the film. Tickets are $20 a piece.
Perfect.
But we are hoping a sponsor will come forward and provide for those who can't afford the $20. Awesome. We want a sponsor to come forward. We'd like a sponsor to come forward. And we don't want cost to be an impediment to folks in Nogales and in Santa Cruz County from seeing the film. So if you're unable to afford the cost of the ticket, don't worry, we'll figure it out. The best place, and the younger audience will probably not like
No,
this,
we're
but
ready.
on Facebook, I mean,
Okay.
I'm an oldster, so I'm on Facebook, right? All right, forgive me. But if you go to Facebook,
Okay.
Coronado, the new evidence.
Perfect.
I have pinned to the top of the Facebook page the link
to buy.
with all the information on the screening, including the Border Community Alliance link that they're handling the ticket sales.
Awesome.
And if we'd rather people go ahead and buy tickets ahead of time, but if you show up and you don't have a ticket, we'll figure it out. And we have part of the reason, another great reason to having so many agencies involved, so many nonprofits, is that we're beginning now to spread the word about the screening. And the Oasis has been wonderful. Tim Carter, the manager there, couldn't be better. It's just, we're really, really looking forward to it because Nogales is Nogales is very important, both sides of the border. I've been shooting here my entire career. I've made a couple of short films down here. I love the border. So pleased to be on a show that's dedicated to just the importance and the vitality of the border. And so we love Nogales.
Thank you.
I would like to add that the last 2 showings have sold out, so people don't want to wait until the last minute.
Okay. Yeah.
We're
Perfect.
hoping it'll do so here.
Yeah.
So buy online now. The other thing is, this is Nogales' history. Literally the site is like 5 or 10 minutes from here, and it's one of the biggest sites one of the most important sites, if not the most important site in Arizona, in my view. It really is an important site, and the film explains why, and so will some of the publications and so on. But the other thing is, if there's sponsors out there that would want to help sponsor another episode, we're still making discoveries on the main site and also along the trail. And it's very exciting. I think once people see the film, they're going to want to. So hopefully there's somebody that has the funding that could help and at least get it started. Because this is just an incredible journey, my view is the film allows the viewer to see not only the process, but to understand history in an unpainful way, in a pleasant way, and also to see how we can tell the story in a new way, but also from multiple perspectives. It's not just about Hispanic history or Spanish history. It's not just about Otham history. It's not just about American history. It's a combination. And that's what I think we need in the society more, is to be able to show how we can tell the story, any story, from a variety of perspectives and carry on a conversation about the importance in a civil way and in an interesting way.
Yeah, and let me say, because of Denny's connections with the Otham Nation, they participated fully in the film, and that was such a unique opportunity as a filmmaker. And the young and the old and the in between, they all came out to the site, and it's quite moving.
Wow.
To see them stand in a place where their ancestors, first greeted Coronado, and then later he exacted too much tribute, and they fought back, and it's just an incredible story.
Wow.
And I think that one of the funnest things they had was the cannon. We found a bronze cannon that was probably made in Mexico, and like I said, it's the earliest known firearm that's been recovered from the entire continent.
Wow.
It's quite the trophy piece. It will be curated and put on exhibit, but the Otham, as well as some other visitors, early on we let people hold it, and now we have people use gloves when they hold it.
Yes.
It's become a museum piece now, but
Wow.
but basically to the artifacts, the site, they're touching a piece of their own history. And some of the Otham came out and helped dig some of the Subaipuri Otham houses that are in the area, and also overlaid the Coronado features. And it was touching for them. It was it just in a way that if you haven't been to your own ancestral sites, it's hard to understand. I went to Great Britain and went to some historical sites from my ancestors relating to the Hastings battlefield and a few other things after that. And I was just so moved. And since I study other people's history, I know that it's important. But that was the first time that I was really able to feel how important it is to be at a place that represents your ancestors, your direct ancestors, you know.
That's amazing. All this story, you know, about coming into film, it's just amazing. You guys, both of you were definitely making border connections, but it's also amazing the meaning of our border, Nogales, Sonora, Nogales, Arizona, and all this discovery that will take history nationwide. Thanks to both of you, girl power, female. And
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm very, very proud, and I'm very thankful for both of you to be here. Anything else that we might forget to share about Coronado, the new evidence, November 9 on Oasis Theatre here
December 9th.
December 9 on Oasis Theatre. Buy your tickets on time, $20 per ticket, and we are looking for sponsors so we can have all of our guests filled out our theater, and also for new discoveries. So if there's any sponsors interested in getting to work with Coronado, the new evidence, and this amazing women, Dr. Seymour and Francis, please contact them. I know Edgardo is amazing putting under like all the information. Where can we find both of you? So please call us, let us know. We will, if you also send a message to We Love Nogales, Santa Cruz County Public Media, we will redirect through an email. So hopefully we can find out some sponsors, and I cannot wait to see the film and see both of you in person taking questions. I know we have a lot of friends and partners and communities that they love the history, that they love to learn about it, our students. So come over. You guys will be both there answering. So it's amazing. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything.
No, I think you covered it. See it. I just want to say, see you at the movies.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes. December 9, 10 in the morning. And
It's a Saturday.
it's a Saturday. So
And an Autumn will be there as well. An Autumn
Yeah.
friend of mine will be
Wow.
there to answer questions.
Yeah, we'll go up on the stage after,
Amazing.
and answer anybody's questions. It's
Thank
a
you.
unique
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thank you for doing that for our community. This is very unique and it's amazing. And then it's also something that we will remember. And it's very helpful for all our generations, all of our students, all of our audience that want to be an archaeologist, a filmmaker. So with that being said, also, I always like to end with a positive guidance for these seniors that are about to graduate and they want to go outside and work or go to school and be a doctor, be a filmmaker, be an archaeologist. Like, what can we share from your experience to them?
Well, I would say make sure you follow your passion. Because even if everybody's telling you need to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, do something practical, the fact is maybe you need to start that way, but you'll end up, if you're following your life's path, you're going to end up with what you're passionate about.
Yes.
Because you'll be drawn there, and that's your life's purpose. You find your life's purpose in what you're passionate about.
Awesome.
And open yourself up to the possibilities. Maybe you don't know what your passion is, but open yourself up to the possibilities and trust your gut to follow that path. And I promise you, if you do, as Denny said, follow your passion, you'll never work a day in your life.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for that. And before you leave, we're going to take a little piece of compromise. And this is our box, and this is our connections that we make. We love to have community leaders like both of you. And we also enjoy to leave you with that connection. So whatever you get in this paper, it's just a little paper that talks about a connection that you will be compromised to make once at any time of, you don't have a deadline, but you will go out, knowing that you gotta make that connection. So with that said, if you can have one and open it, say it outside to the audience.
This is our fortune, huh?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I love it.
Connect a local business with another business.
Perfect.
Attend farmers markets.
I love it.
That's great. I need to. she's a foodie. I'm a. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But thank you for your time. Thank you for making that connection.
Thank you.
We will see you guys December 9, 10 in the morning to watch Coronado, the new evidence. Thank you everyone for watching us. Let's meet at the movie theater on Oasis, and we will see you again next week for another Border Connection program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.